Kill Bill is a cult classic film written and directed by everyone's favorite foot connoisseur, Quentin Tarantino. Characterized by its genre bending use of visuals as well as wild and often over the top action sequences. The film quickly became a fan favorite and is debatably one of Tarantino's best movies. And I had never seen it before. Now you're probably wondering, how have you never seen Kill Bill? Well, my humble viewer, the same way I've never seen Pulp Fiction. I just never got around to it. And this guy low-key creeps me out. However, a few days ago, I finally got around to watching both volumes 1 and 2. Both movies had a number of notable action pieces and sequences, but there was a sequence in volume 1 particularly that stood out to me the most. It's not often that a movie makes me stop in my tracks and say, wow, this part's crazy. But this movie had one that was not only memorable, but what I believe is the best sequence between the two volumes. Why is this sequence my favorite? Well, part of the reason is due to the fact that this sequence is entirely animated. For those of you who were like me and are unaware, the story of Kill Bill is split up into chapters. Each chapter follows the main character, Trix, or the bride, who's on a quest for revenge against, who would have guessed, Bill, who put a bullet in her head, which she somehow survives. But first, she must also get revenge on her 4 other assailants who all took part in beating her to a bloody pulp. But I want to focus on this one specifically, O-Ren Ishii, who gets her very own chapter, Chapter 3. Wherein lies my favorite part in the whole movie. We discover the tragic but compelling origin of the assassin also known as Cottonmouth. Off the first few shots, you immediately get the vibe for the kind of animation this sequence is paying homage to, which makes even more sense when you realize who was behind this animated portion of the chapter. The sequence was directed by Kazuto Nakazawa, best known for designing the characters in the 2004 anime Samurai Champloo. Several well-known animators also worked on the sequence, one of which being Mitsuo Iso, who also worked on the animated film Blood the Last Vampire, which actually played a part in inspiring Tarantino's vision for the sequence in the first place. The animation is very reminiscent of early 90s anime, from how heavily stylized and intricate it is to the laughable amount of gore throughout the entire thing. Anyways, as we continue through the scene, we see Oren's dad fighting off these goons who work for this guy, Boss Matsumoto. And he just starts laying paws on these guys. Let's analyze this real quick. The first guy charges at him with a knife, blocked. He goes for the right hook. Nope. He tries the knife again, gets a karate chop to his fat gullet, got him looking all types of crazy, and to top it off, a broken arm. The camera work in this is so cool to me, which is apparently also Mitsuo Iso's doing, which he also incorporates in his other works. It's as if there's an actual camera filming the whole thing. But back to the fight, in comes this Uggo, Sloth from the Goonies looking dude, who also charges at her dad. And just look at this fight choreography, it's just so clean. It almost looks rotoscope, but I'm not sure it is. Her dad makes quick work of this guy, and the sounds are just yuck. Sends him flying across the room into a bookcase. Mind you, the first guy's just watching all this go down. Thinks shit's sweet and gets his whole face caved in. This part is so funny to me because bro is so mad that his face is just completely unrecognizable. This is not the same person. But unfortunately, her dad gets snuck by this guy. And like I mentioned before, it's just an absurd amount of blood. I don't even think I could show this part. I like this little detail where the whimper is an actual tangible thing that comes out and she's able to force it back in. As well as this guy's proportions, how they drew him all long and lanky. Which really says forward the idea of how big and looming this character is to this little girl. Which is why I like the fact that this is animated, because you can't really pull stuff like this in live action. You can really go all out when it comes to conveying certain parts in the narrative. But as the scene continues, unfortunately her mom is also killed off. And there's this crazy shot where it just starts raining blood on this poor girl. This, along with the music swelling, really brings the scene together and just makes you hate these characters as well. Especially after this guy is literally about to leave, but decides to aura farm instead. Now, in a crazy twist, we find out that Boss Matsumoto is a weirdo, if you get what I mean. So now 11-year-old O-Ren is finally able to get her revenge, and she just redecorates the room with this guy's blood. And like I said before, this guy just has like a cartoonish amount of blood coming out of him. Now these other goons come in just to mag dump their boss, cause O-Ren is under the bed again. But this time she's got the hand cannon on her, blows this guy's legs smooth off, pops his head off his shoulder, then does the same to his friend. Now it's O-Ren's turn to aura farm. In the Britney Spears fit no less, cause she's about to do it again. She's got this guy in her sights and just clips him from like 200 meters out. Then there's this insane shot of the bullet inside this guy's head. Now, I know I said before that this stuff can't really be done in live action, and although this part is an exception because it can probably be done with special effects, it just wouldn't hit the same. Like, the fact multiple people had to sit down and draw this frame by frame just makes me appreciate the scene so much more. Finally though, the sequence ends with Miss Panama and Miss Venezuela looking through the back of this guy's head in possibly one of the most gruesomely creative shots in the entire movie. This is the entirety of the sequence, but there is an extended cut out there where Oren goes after this guy, Pretty Ricky, which was supposedly going to be in the original film but didn't make it due to time constraints. I watched that one too, but I like what we got instead. There is a line I like in it though. Oren drops one of her dad's grenades into the elevator they're fighting in and says they're a gift from her father. Tough. She almost dies after, but we'll ignore that because that line was hard. Overall though, this sequence was really cool to see considering I wasn't expecting it at all. Like I said before, I'd never seen Kill Bill, so when I saw that, it just blew me away. It might not seem like a big thing, but seeing it and thinking on how movies are nowadays has me wishing more movies took more creative liberties like this. For example, I was watching the Michael biopic the other day, and I was talking to my girlfriend about how I liked the movie, but that I wish they had done something a little bigger and more creative. I mean, it's Michael Jackson. I was hoping they'd do something that really showed off the grandness, if that's even a word, that was Michael Jackson. Take Piece by Piece, for instance, the Pharrell biopic. This is by far my favorite biopic because of how gorgeous it is. The medium of Legos really helped visualize how music made up Pharrell's world and was almost alive itself, which is what I was looking for in the Michael biopic. Something more stylized and creative. It didn't have to be Legos, but something that really showed off how big an impact his story had on the world. I still hold out hope though that there are still directors out there who are willing to take more risks creatively with their movies. Because there have been a few here and there that are still willing to push the envelope when it comes to visual storytelling. But what do you guys think? Which Kill Bill do you think is the best? The answer is Volume 1. Or better yet, what is your favorite Tarantino film? Let me know.